We've been talking about this for almost 24 hours now. Now today we're having the big one, and it's all about focusing on works and infrastructure and looking at the achievements of Governor Babajide Sanwo-Olu in 600 days, all right? We're having a journey. We're embarking on a journey that's going to take us 1,460 days, and we've gone 600 days already. So joining me right now to shed light on this is the woman that I want to refer to, 4-in-1. And of course, she's the special advisor to the governor on works and infrastructure. Honorable Aramide Adeyoye is connecting with us on the program this morning. Nice to have you. Good morning, madam.
Morning, Mr. Victor.
And you're welcome.
Thank you for having me on the program.
Great.
And then good morning, Lagosians.
Great.
Good morning to all.
All right, so it's the first time we are having this conversation this year, so let me officially say a happy new year to you. And still connecting with the governor's vision for infrastructural renewal, what has the picture looked like in these past 600 days, Honorable Adeyoye?
Thank you very much, Mr. Victor. It's looking brighter. You will recollect that at the inception of this administration, everywhere, it looked as if the city was besieged. It was potholes everywhere, bedevil everywhere. So much so that we had to declare a state of emergency in October of 2019. I'm sure, and if Lagosians would adjudge us correctly, they would attest to the fact that we're not yet there, but we have certainly improved a lot. Roads, Itato, where you would drive on a major road like Ikorodu Road, and you would cry and weep and say, what exactly is going on in this city? We've changed the pavement structure there, and then right from Ikorodu Road, Enri side, the road has tremendously improved. All over Lagos. It's not just that, even at the mouth, the bad spot where you have containers falling every week.
All right.
That has subsided now because the pavement has been changed there now.
Okay.
Madlawansing, I can reel out a catalogue of number of roads all over Lagos.
All right.
That there has been tremendous work. That's why a lot of people say Lagos has suddenly become a construction city.
That's right. But in terms of the figures now, so let's begin to, attach some statistics to all of this. When you look at the 600 days, how many roads have been fixed? How many have been rehabilitated? What has been the numbers? What are they looking like?
Okay, so like you all know, the Minister of Works and Infrastructure has 4 subsidiaries under it. But majorly is the Public Works Corporation. The Public Works Corporation has done a lot of road rehabilitation maintenance, 297 roads in total. As at end of last year, 297 roads in total, and they've also used about 112,500 tons of asphalt. Ooh. all along the major roads and the inner roads. They've intervened in a lot of areas, and for us, when we came on board, we actually met 147 road projects on ground. We have been able to finish. We discounted down by about 42.
Okay.
31 number network of roads in Ojokoro. We also had 2 in Shomolu at last year's anniversary, May 29th,
all right,
saw us commission all in total 42 number roads. So the 147 figure of roads we met on ground, we discounted down by 42. 31, like I said, in Ojokoro network of roads.
All right.
You had in Shomolu you had 4. You also had 2. You had 2 around Ladipo and Akiumi.
Okay. All right.
So you had all in all 31 plus 2 plus 4. You also had 1 in Badagry. In Oniru environments, you had Jideoki, you had Adeyoye, you had 4 number network of roads around there. So all in total, by the time you moved that, you were down to 105.
All right.
And then also as a state, everybody will recollect that we took a bond. We took a bond this same time last year, the biggest any subnational will ever take. And what we then did was from the monies that came in from the bond, we actually took on the construction of 31 number roads. In that program, we also had the program for regeneration. We had the urban regeneration program. And that saw us going to areas around not only the central business district of Ikeja, Victoria Island, but also Koshofe. So you had Victoria Island, you had the Ikoyi network of roads, and you had GRA as well as Koshofe. Koshofe, we had 5 number roads that we decided to upgrade in the urban regeneration. You had Church Street, you had Demori, you had Agidi.
All right.
And then you also had the road that comes from Pisa, just said that comes out, and then you have the bypass link that gets into the 3rd axial road. So those were 5 roads under Koshofe local government, aside 444 from each of the local government of Ikoyi, Victoria Island, and Ikeja DRE.
Right.
So in total, we had 70 number roads under urban regeneration program.
Okay.
We also embarked on new construction, major roads that you could connect. One of the things that we must all realize is the Teams agenda, like I said, this budget year, 2021, will continue to focus on the Teams agenda. We consolidate on the gains of the Teams agenda program of Mr. Governor.
Right.
And that would see us also consolidating on the things that we started last year, like I said, from funds that we accrued from the bond, the projects that we undertook. We decided also to continue and consolidate and finish to completion.
All right, which is very interesting. And I did hear Mr. Governor talk about 377 projects that will be commissioned this year. But before I allow you to dwell on that, let's still reflect a bit on those that were done last year, and also, still reflecting on the 20 months of his administration. I know there are some priority roads which, Mr. Governor's administration is focusing on. And some of these priority roads are ones that once construction is going on, sometimes you have harrowing experiences from people. The Ikorodu Road, which you just mentioned right now, I know you guys did a whole lot there. Let's talk a bit about that. The Mile 12, K2, Kushofe, that corridor. What was the real intention, and how different is what you are doing now to what we've always experienced in the past?
Thank you, Mr. Victor, for that question. Like I said, one of the things that our roads around here are designed as flexible pavements. But we have a policy, a transport policy that we have as a nation, but which we're not, it appears that we're not enforcing some part of that act. There is a punishment or a fine, as it were, when you carry excess axle loadings on those flexible pavements.
Okay.
But because we don't enforce them, so you see long articulated trucks carry excess loadings in excess, some of them 50 tons in excess of their capacity. You see them, rather than load 30,000 tons, metric tons of PMS or AGO, some go as far as 50, 55. You see the tanks.
Right.
So there's no, you can't run away from the fact that this is actually excess loading. But what it does is that it damages the pavement.
And that's very true. So when we are coming from here, because we used to have back in the day something called the way bridges. So are we going to get back to that? I mean, is the governor thinking of that?
Absolutely, we are going to. The federal government has started that process, and Lagos State government has also keyed into that. So what you have on the one of the projects that we flagged off from Ekpeti Junction back to Ibejuleki Junction, there is a way bridge there. The whole idea, and that is strategic. It's strategic in the sense that given that we have the Dangote refinery and all of the heavy articulated trucks that will be coming out from that axis of the Eleko, they would have to go on the way bridge.
Okay.
They'll go on the way bridge so that they do not damage the pavement. But aside from that, we have now taken a futuristic approach. The reconstruction work that we're doing is actually in rigid pavement, concrete rigid pavement. So it's not in the bituminous, the flexible pavement that everybody has always known.
Right.
We did that deliberately because we envisaged the excess loadings that will be coming all the way from Shagamu Ore. There's also apart from a refinery, you also have the port. So we envisaged there will be a lot of cargoes coming out from that side. So that road has been built to fit into that purpose.
Okay, which is very nice. So, but apart from that end, the ones that we have, when you come from Ikorodu Road, for instance, when you talk about Way Bridge, inwards Mile 12, is that going to be activated?
So that's why I said the federal government has started a process of reactivation of the way bridges. At the Ogere-Remon flag off of the project of Lagos-Ibadan Expressway, the Minister for Works, Mr. Fashola,
right.
Fashola, did say that the NISA they were going to implement the policy strictly. That area has been concessioned out to them. The way bridges, they are bringing up, revitalizing the back to the activities that we've always had, the way bridges been in place. So they will start that corridor towards the expressway, approaching the Magodo side. The way bridges will be put back. You also recollect that we have a way bridge. We've always had a way bridge at Odioniri. That will also be resuscitated back. Okay,
that would be very, very nice. So let's see if that would deter those that are indulging in the act of overloading. Perhaps that would also curtail their excesses as well. All right, so moving forward now, there's a project that a lot of people are eagerly anticipating, and that is the Agege Pen Cinema flyover. How far have we gone with that construction?
Thank you. Coincidentally, I think I was on that site yesterday with my colleague from Osun State, the Commissioner for Works in Osun State. We should be commissioning that project next month, all things being equal next month. What we have left, the project is about 90% completed. What we have left is the signalization of the traffic and then to tidy up the junctions. It's a challenge now tidying up the junctions because right now 4 of the major arterials that go into that Agege Pen Cinema have been blocked. So because Nigerian Railway Corporation on the federal side, they're also working.
Okay, just a second. Let me see if I can take this update that is coming in. Hello there, last man monitor.
Yeah, good morning. This is last man monitor, Adeyoye.
All right, Adeyoye, talk to me. What's happening?
Yeah, personally, we have an issue at Akobo.
Okay.
Approaching Africana, there is a broken capacity bus.
Okay, broken down Primero bus.
On the road.
Hello, did you say a broken down Primero bus?
Yes.
Okay.
Coming from different ends and Broad Street and trying to clean Eco Bridge.
Right.
We have it a bit slow. So we still have 2 lanes moving, approaching the pedestrian bridge by Africana.
Right.
Inward the Eco Bridge proper.
Okay.
As soon as this vehicle leaves the road, I will surely come up and inform you.
All right, then. We'd appreciate that, then. Adeyoye, thank you so much.
So let's just be with us for now.
Okay, all right. We'll continue to reiterate that too on the program. So the traffic manager there from Eco Bridge is still talking about that broken down Primero bus at Ofin Canal. Those of you coming in from Eco Bridge, trying to negotiate through that particular corridor, having it a little bit slow, but he says efforts on to get it off as quickly as possible. Yes, so you were talking about the Pennsylvania flyover bridge, and you said the point where we are right now is signalization. And what is the challenge that that is confronting you guys in achieving this?
So the contractor will have to do a partial closure of the remaining part that is left open now to allow them to tidy up. Okay. You have made 4 major entries into that Agege Pennsylvania junction, and then you need to be able to manage the traffic, given that you also have the Nigerian Railways Corporation having taken one side of the roadway.
Right.
So that narrows exactly the number of openings or entry for vehicles. But we'll walk around it. Okay. So I think that's what we have, as well as the signalization.
Right. So,
but that's not the only project that we've had. Like I've said, one of the cardinal programs that we've had as an administration under the themes agenda, like I said, this ministry sits on the T of the themes agenda.
That's right.
And one of the things that we said was, we will remove gridlocks. In the transportation, Minister of Works will provide major arterials, will open up new network of roads that connects with the themes agenda. And I've always said it, this government is a continuum, and so there was no need reinventing the wheel. The projects that we met on ground, that were strategic and in sync with the themes agenda, we have decided to follow it to the letter. A typical one is the Pennsylvania you're talking about.
Okay.
It's at 88% stage, 88 to 90%,
right,
just left to the signalization. So what we have done is don't reinvent the wheel. Finish what you know that is in sync with your program. Follow it through.
Right.
And I'm sure that Lagosians, by the time that project is finished and opened, it will reduce the traffic gridlock around Penn Cinema. And Lagosians will be happy for it. So it's not only that, we've also done programs that will fall. Everybody has said it, that the pressure on the roadways, they're high. Why doesn't Lagosians get receptive to using the waterways?
Right.
And so for the Ministry of Works, even in our design of road infrastructure, we have keyed into that vision, and all of the roads that we're selecting for construction, they actually key into that. Either one of the road leads to a jetty, so that you can actually have an intermodal transport system, have a feel of intermodal transport system. When you take a BRT lane, you go on that road, you should be able to come around that bus stop and hop onto the boat,
right,
to a Laswa boat, and get to your next location. So roads like Ishuti would actually end at the end of the jetty. Roads like Ishekun Camp Davis, also, which is also under construction, will end at the jetty. And then Opashekumade is also another one that you can take it and then link also to the jetty.
These are all roads in Ikorodu?
These are all roads that the construction, as I speak, are ongoing.
Right.
And there are things that this administration is doing,
wonderful,
which Lagosians are aware of, but I can tell you the progress is moving at
it's very high.
Yeah, it's high.
All right, then. So we're going to be taking it now in terms of specifics now, looking at certain communities. I know you've mentioned Ikorodu right now, and my friends from Ikorodu are very eager to hear from you. You did talk about some roads that were being constructed the last time you were here. Probably that should be sometime around October or so. Within the Ikorodu end, how far have we gone with those projects?
Those are roads like Ikorodu has had it good in this administration, I must say.
Okay.
And, but even though this is a balanced government, so any local government that appears that development is not massive there, you can be rest assured that this budget has made provision for that, okay, either on the main construction work or from the Public Works Corporation. So let me start with Ikorodu. Ikorodu has a lot of projects. Ijede Road is one particular one. As I speak, the progress percentage is about 65%.
How many kilometer road is that road?
So it's a 6.5 kilometer road.
6.5, okay.
It actually starts from Itamaga. It will end at Berigbe. But it's a 12 kilometer stretch, but we're taking a 6 kilometer at this instance.
All right.
And that 6 kilometers, they are at 62% progress as I speak.
All right. All right. So
it's in semi-rigid pavement. It's not in a total rigid pavement. It's a 2-lane dual carriageway in semi-rigid pavement.
Okay.
That's what we have. That's for Ijede. We also have the Obashekumade, like I said, that is in rigid pavement. It's in rigid pavement because it actually leads to the jetty, but because we also have a container terminal from the Nigerian Ports Authority coming there. You've also made provision for the BRT buses. There's a dedicated bus, there are bus laybys that would serve Lamata as well.
Right.
So, because each time that we design, we think of the intermodal transport system in mind and then try to accommodate them.
Good.
Another typical road is that everybody has been looking forward to is Ijedodo. Ijedodo is on as I speak. I think the project can run now on stream. I haven't resolved the technical issues of right of way around it. Not technical issues per se, but the right of way issues, which I think is resolved now. So that project can run smooth. Okay.
All right. Sounds pretty good. Which other ones now?
Ikorodu Road, the rehabilitation of Ikorodu Road from Ikorodu back Ikorodu as you're going towards Wodoenini, backwards into Ikorodu, so we're going towards Modota. That has been, so there are two contractors. Messrs. CCCC is working on the north side, and then on the southern side, you have Messrs. Julius Berger working there.
Okay.
The main carriageway by CCC has been completed. Leaving the service lane on the left hand side. So because I'm facing north now, leaving the service lane on that side.
Right.
So there's been a lot of diversion in the last 1 week that will enable you, if you're coming from Ikorodu and you want to take the service lane, you have to pass through at the back of Ketu, behind Ketu, and then come back again into the service back to the service lane.
Right.
On the JBN side, on the southern side, you've had JBN also. They have worked majorly on the service lane, leaving the main parts of main carriageway. But the whole idea is to change that pavement into a rigid pavement so that it's long lasting, because it looks like it's a perennial problem. We have maintenance issues around cleaning those manholes there. Okay. So you need to flush those manholes regularly. Pressure. But mark you, that particular manholes, they've been installed when Petamong did those roads. The entire stretch, about almost 40 years ago.
Several years ago,
about 40 years ago.
Okay.
So it's in the 70s. So the problem has to do with the maintenance of those manholes. And once they get blocked and the water comes on the roadway, you find the pavement surface in asphalt deteriorating. So in those locations where there are problems perennially, we've decided to change them to rigid pavement.
So let me now ask that question, and this is what Lagosians want to hear from you this morning, my special advisors. Are we going to finally forget the era of Ikorodu Road being flooded when it rains? Is that what we're looking at?
That's what we're aiming to. So with the combination of the support from also the Office of Drainage Services, with the way we have changed the rigid pavement into a longer lasting one, and then also with the maintenance grant from public source as well, and then the maintenance routine program that Lamata has, I think we should be able to conquer the problem of flooding in the corridor.
All right.
And then as well, when you are on top of the bridge, of Yalaro, you know that often the flooding that you experience on the corridor, they are mostly man-made, they're induced.
Okay.
When people take the gully pipes on the bridge, when they block them because they actually live under the bridge and they don't want those water to drop on them, they actually go in to block those openings. So if you do not know, you would say this water is not flowing down. It's because somebody has tried to block it from below. So they're man-made. It's something that we have investigated and we know it. And that's why we advocate and we say areas or corridors like the bridges are supposed to be kept. Those corridors are strict government reservation areas.
Right.
They are supposed to be kept where you should not have people have human interference on around there.
And any moves in terms of enforcement to ensure that this will be achieved in future?
Oh yes, so we'll set up a gang. The modality of how they would work between us and the federal government, we have fashioned that out. Like I said, most of these bridges they belong to the federal government, so it's a joint effort a collaboration between us as well as FMW.
Right.
So it's ongoing, and we're starting with some around the Papa axis now. We've started already. We did some during December, and it's a continuous process. We'll keep going on along.
Lagos Traffic Radio 96.1 FM. My guest this morning, 600 days of Governor Babajide Sanwo-Olu with special emphasis on works and infrastructure. Honorable Aramide Adeyoye is taking us to the classroom, and you can hear her speak eloquently on some of the projects which Mr. Governor has been fixing a whole lot of attention on. All right, a motorist connecting with us this morning says there's a broken down truck at Ibafo on the Lagos-Ibadan Expressway, and he says it's been there since yesterday, causing a whole lot of issues for motorists within that particular corridor. He says backlog somewhere around MFM. This is on the outwards journey of the Lagos-Ibadan Expressway section. So that means if you're heading inwards Ibadan, you might have it like that. He says inwards Lagos is still okay, but between Asheshe and Ibafo, you have a moving traffic there. All right, we've talked about the broken down Primero bus at Offin Canal. It's having a mechanical problem, and so it's really affecting movement. Those of you around the Co Bridge might have it a little bit slow. Third Mainland Bridge is still appreciably okay, so we'll be serving you more helpings. And this morning, we'll be connecting with you as well, even as we reflect on these 600 days. Honorable Adeyoye, let's talk about some other corridors. One of the priority projects which Mr. Governor inherited and which he talked about a lot and also embarked on visits was the Lagos-Badagry Expressway. Where are we with that project?
Okay, so as I speak, Lagos Badagry Expressway, everybody knows, starts from Eric Moore and is supposed to end at Okoko Michael. So first and foremost, we need to make clarity about this. Lagos State Government is committed to the delivery of that road from Eric Moore to Okoko, and then from Okoko to Seme. It's a federal government project. So when people talk about Lagos Badagry Expressway, I always ask, we need to be able to distinguish between those limits. Okay. So for us as a state, the limit under which we're working, we're trying assiduously to be able to finish that project. This year, it's in the budget. We will do. The contractor is on site. They're at Alakija bus stop, the flyover at Alakija. They're presently working around there. And the Vaux. So the constraint that you have, you could recollect in December, early January last year, Mr. Governor did decide to inspect. That was the first project he would inspect last year. And he gave, what he told the Lagosians was that we will try to ensure that, I promised you earlier that trade fair, we will get to trade fair come December. And we have done that. And we'll try by September, October to get to Lasu Junction. That Lasu Junction, that has been delivered on the service, on a service lane on one side. The contractor will have gone further, but for the difficulties around walking at the Lakija flyover bridge. So it's like you needed to be able to finish one section before you will go on the other side. So I would say the what he said about getting to Lasu Junction, right, we have delivered that, but on the service lane. So that leaves us with the main lane, because as you know, the Lagos Badagry Expressway has the service lane, it has the main lane, and it has the BRT lane. Okay. So it did promise Lagosians, I would give you this come September, but we didn't achieve the September. We've achieved that in December on one service lane. Right. And so we're left with the other service lane as well as the main lane, aside from the contractor working at the flyover bridge at Alakija. The flyover bridge at Alakija expect that by all things when you call by August, we should be done with that bridge at the pace at which the contractor is working. All right. Then you'll be able to tidy up. The problem around there has to do with the encumbrance that you have around the signal barracks, around the military operations around there. Right. But all of those ones have been resolved now. Okay. It just takes time to resolve some of these right-of-way issues and the impact on the progress. Okay, then. So, and talking about challenges, a lot, well, you know, that really happened across all spheres and globally is that of the impact of the COVID-19 pandemic on certain issues. So, in your own ministry and, of course, in works and infrastructure, what has been the impact of that? Oh, the COVID has brought us something. It came up on all of us. But one of the things that taught us to do was to begin to think differently. It's a new normal. Having to stick to the protocol guidelines for contractors. That has meant that even in the way that they work on site, the number of groups, how they work, the delivery time for the projects have been a little bit reduced. They've been increased because then they work in small numbers as against the large groups that they usually have. So for most of the projects that we've had to revise our work program. But at the end of the day, in revising, we adjusted. But we're back on track now. Like I said, a typical road like Ijede that we should have finished by February. We will be finishing now at about April, May. Like I said, that project, as I speak with you, is about 62% completed.
All right.
And there's no reason why, given the pace at which we are going, that we should not be able to deliver before the end of half year.
Okay, then.
And by the time we finish that, you can be sure that relief will come to people around the Ikorodu Ijede side.
All right. Okay, so we're going to be projecting into 2021, but a whole lot has been done, like you said, in 600 days, and Mr. Governor is not relenting as we speak. So let's hear from you this morning. We're going to be opening the lines right now. Also, like I said, you can connect with us on our Facebook, because this is Facebook Live, Lagos Traffic Radio 96.1 FM. Also on our Twitter handle at Lagos Traffic 961. I have with me in the studios to reflect on 600 days of Governor Babajide Sanwo-Olu with reference to works and infrastructure is Honorable Aramide Adeyoye, who's the special advisor to the governor on works and infrastructure. All right, so let's see if we connect with you. Please go straight to the point and make it as short as possible, okay, so that we can accommodate as many people as possible. My first caller on the line. Hello there. Good morning.
Hello. Good morning, Mr. Victor.
All right. Good morning. Who am I speaking with?
My name is Paul. I'm calling from Engr area.
All right. Go ahead.
Okay. I want to thank the Honorable Minister that brought this morning. Honestly, I must give kudos to Lagos State government in terms of road maintenance. I'm a regular user and I fly most of the Lagos routes.
Right.
It's been amazing. I must give kudos to the commissioner. It's done really well. Now, why she was talking about road in the Ikorodu, I did not hear her mention Ishawo Road. I don't know if it's part of the project, because I know there's an ongoing project there. But the place I see that project is going, it's not really helping us as from that Ishawo area.
All right.
Especially at that bridge side, because very soon now, rainy season will start. It's always very, very difficult for us to navigate along that. So I want to know if that is still part of their project, because she didn't mention that project as part of ongoing project in Ikorodu.
Okay, we've taken note of that, Paul. Thank you so much. And like I said, let's see how we can make it very, very short and keep it straight to the point as well, so that we can accommodate as many people as possible. Ishawo Road, your concern, taking note of it, 08099120777. These numbers that you can connect with us on the program this morning to have your say, or probably bring in your thoughts. Hello there.
Yeah, good morning, Mr. Perry.
Good morning.
Yeah, my name is Mr. James. I'm calling from Yanoworo.
James from Yanoworo. Go ahead.
Yes, I have to congratulate the woman. But when she was filling out the project, she didn't mention anything in Oworo. And Oworo Road is so terrible. Oworo Road. Starting from Oworo to make it down to the ferry, that road is terrible. I don't know if they have any plan for it.
Okay. All right, then. Any plans for Wuru Road? All right, James, thank you so much for your call. Well, I'm moving on. Let's hear from you. And of course, do not also fail to mention if you've seen anyone that has been completed and your thoughts about the project. Feel free to link up with us. Hello there. Hello, good morning. 08099120777 is the numbers to connect with us. Good morning.
Good morning.
Hello there.
Yeah, this is Babajide speaking.
Babajide, where are you calling from?
Right now I'm calling from Ikeja.
All right, go ahead.
Yes, I want to talk about the Demori Road. Please, I want to beg the Honorable, please, whoever that is supervising that job should keep an eye on it.
Okay.
Seriously. Yes, after excavating the gutter, then when they are refilling back the sand, I think they should also have a very sharp sand in that place. Rather than putting that sand, I saw some kind of muddy sand. Maybe at the end of the day, maybe by the time they finish that road, the whole thing will still mess up again. Please, whoever that is supervising that road should keep an eye on that road. More especially, Demoli Road.
Okay. All right, we've taken it of that. All right, sharp practices from the contractor is what he's suspecting. Proper supervision needed. We take care, of course, we'll bring that to the Honorable as the program continues. But you can still have your thing or say, take some more calls before we answer the first set of calls together, put them all together, and then she can respond. Hello there.
Hello, good morning.
Good morning.
Yeah, my name is Oluwayimika.
Go ahead.
Yes, please. There's something which I observe at this Abulegba flyover. Now, some people coming from Songo that wants to turn back to maybe go to Aramide. Now, that we used to have bottleneck at that junction. Now, I would suggest that at that point, there should be the turning before that the junction, like they do at when you go to the under bridge. You see, there's a turn for people coming that want to turn back before the next one. Even the same thing, people coming from Yanofaja, that want to go to Lipo. That place that is created for the turning for everybody, even people coming from that junction is it always cause a bottleneck. So instead of that, let those coming from Yanofaja turn where this area that is fenced with barbed wire. They should create a turning there.
Okay.
I think you get what I'm saying. So like what is done on that bridge? Before you get to that the junction, there's a turning for people that want to turn back like that. So where those even the same thing where the fence require at both sides, that they should create a turning.
Okay.
So that people coming from Lagos Abeokuta, they should just I think the old Abeokuta road.
Right. So they'll have a right of way at that point.
A right of way. So that's what the bottleneck we normally have there, especially in the morning or evening. And for this BRC buses, when that wants to turn back.
All right. We've taken note of that, Oluma Yimika.
That's something that's very important.
All right. We've taken note of that. Thank you so much. She will respond by the time we put this together. One more call, and then we'll put all of this to her, and then she can respond to all your concerns. It's all about works and infrastructure this morning, and we're focusing on 600 days of Governor Babajide Sanwo-Olu. Talk to me, and have your say on the program as well. If you have any questions, bring it to the essay. Good morning. What's your name? Lekon.
I'm calling from Kittu.
All right.
I just want to suggest the Kittu has been the best work always. It's my choice of the passes. You see, my suggestion is this. Let them close that exit from
You said what? They should close what?
Yeah.
Lekon. We couldn't really get the import of your contribution, so you might want to reconnect or perhaps send a text message. You are saying go somewhere. We couldn't really get that. If you can call us back, we would appreciate that. But that will give us a time to squeeze in another call before we allow her to respond. Hello there. Hello. Good morning. Can you hear me? 08099120777 is the number to connect with us. Hello. Okay, we're having a little difficulty there with that particular call. We're trying to see how we clean that up. Okay then.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you, Mr.
Let's take this one before I allow you. Hello there.
Yeah, good morning, Traffic Radio.
Good morning. What's your name? What's your name?
Emeka is my name.
Okay, Emeka, quickly, go ahead.
Okay, I appreciate the lady on board and an issue I want to bring to your notice.
Okay.
That this particular Dr. Mark bridge, which becomes one way by 3 p.m. It was there because before they carved in the turning on the express. They noticed now that there are very less vehicular movement on the bridge from that 3 p.m. into Akrojo. So I'm looking at if that bridge can be turned to 2 ways so that the vehicles can go on opposite direction from that year.
All right.
But the vehicular movement on that particular bridge is no longer as it used to be because of that opening the carving on the express.
Okay. All right.
I think there's something should be done about that.
All right. Thank you so much, Emeka. Thank you. All right. So let's begin to attend to all these calls. Okay. Maybe you want to take it from the top or from the right?
No, I could take it from the first question.
Okay. All right.
That's Mr. Paul. He asked the question whether Ishawo Road was actually in the radar of the state government. It is very much in the radar. Like you all know, the capex spending for this ministry is about 167 billion. Agric-Ishawo is well represented in the whole pot, and there's no reason why we shouldn't fast track work on this job.
Right.
Last year I saw the contractor working on the trapezoidal drains. You recollect that last year, I think Channels Every week they would actually do a documentary on Agrikishawo with the guy paddling his canoe.
And I think it was
TVC. It was channels. It was channels. It was channels and TVC.
Okay.
It was embarrassing for us as a government, and we took the bull by the horn. That project, we then redesigned it to see exactly what we can do, resuscitate it, and we took it on board. The trapezoidal drains are almost about 40% completed.
All right.
While leaving the pavement and the source cement as well. So the bridge part, there's also a bridge part. The contractor is yet to begin piling works around the bridge. So yes, there's still a lot of work to be done. The work, as I speak, the progress percentage is about 25%.
Right.
But we'll see what we can fast track given the budget provisions that we have.
Before the end of 2021.
Yes.
All right. So let's talk about James. He's concerned about
So we talked about
Owuru.
Mr. James. He talked about Owuru.
Yes.
Owuru is something that is on the radar. Owuru represents something for us because the jetty that we're building, like I said, in the all overall mindset that we have, the global picture that we have is that we want to have an intermodal transport system for Lagos.
Right.
We've built a jetty in Owuru. If you know that there's a jetty in Bariga, and
That's
we also
right.
there's a jetty in Owuru. Even there's a newer jetty.
Okay.
So the road that leads to that jetty, we need to tidy up Owuru. It's something that is already in the budget, and we'll embark on it
Good.
as fast as we can before
right.
the rains
begin.
start.
All right, Babajide from Ikeja. Also,
Somebody from Mr. Demoni, somebody talked about Demoni, the sharp practices. One of the things that I'll tell you is Lagosians deserve to have value for money. The engineers in the Ministry of Works, since our inception, coming on board, they've gone through a lot of training over and over again. Even as at yesterday, Public Works Corporation, they still had their intense training as to putting international best practices on the way they lay asphalt. So also it is also with us on the other side in Mowi with designing and supervision on projects.
Okay.
And so what you're seeing, we heard the comments. Like I always tell people, my lines are open. Whenever you see something, that's the essence of actually taking ownership of projects. Right from construction stage, you'd see exactly what is happening, and then you're able to give us a feedback.
Okay.
But we'll look into it, and I promise you that we'll get to the end of that.
And also before the end of the program, there will
yes.
be a line that you can give. Those who have this kind of complaints, they can send to you. All right. Oluwayimika says the Abule Egba flyover is witnessing some kind of confusion, especially at the turning point. So he wants a kind of opening for those that are coming in from Songo and perhaps they want to make a
turn.
Yes, on that bridge. Have you noticed that, sir?
Well, I've noticed that. So it's an identified gridlock position. Like I said, when we came on board, there were 60 identified gridlocks in Lagos, and we systematically began to eliminate all of those gridlocks. We have done 6 now, and this one is in one of those recognized gridlocks.
Okay.
So it's something that we'll fashion it out and then award it and then be able to fix it.
Wonderful. All right, Dr. Mu, that's
Dito, Mr. Meka who said he's noticed that Dr. Mu Akonwajo Bridge up till 3 o'clock it's open for traffic.
All right.
So before you do that one, we'll do the traffic studies and then impact analysis, open up that bridge at that hour so that it becomes a two-way traffic flow. The Minister of Transport, I would speak with my colleague in transport and then we'll see what exactly can be done to improve. The whole idea is let Lagosians have good travel experience if they're going on the road.
All right. Lagos Traffic Radio 96.1 FM. A brief break, 1 or 2 messages. When we return, hear from you and, of course, see if we can attend to some of your messages also on our social media platform. Lagos Traffic Radio 96.1 FM. It's very, very busy. And, of course, we're talking a whole lot about infrastructural renewal of Mr. Governor. And my guest is giving eloquent testimonies of what the governor has achieved. But beyond that, the governor's interest in making your journeys seamless from one point to another in Lagos. All right, let me see. Some of you are connecting with us, and I'm going to bring in Korede in at this point. Korede, what are some of the messages?
All right. Shagun says the last time the SA came to the station, she talked about Abaronje, Rube Road. She said it will be rehabilitated this year. It just wants to confirm if it will still be done this year.
Abaronje Okerube.
Yes.
All right. Okay. All right. I guess we respond to that. Which other?
All right. Olayinka from Satellite Town says, why has the CCECC refused to complete the short portion of the Mile 2 main carriageway since December? All right.
CCECC.
Yes.
Okay. Failed to complete the short portion. All right. Around Mile 2.
Okay. Another motorist here says, please help us at Odonguyon Ikorodu. there's an abandoned road at Okegbegun near Laspotek. And, okay, yeah.
All right. So these are some of the concerns. But I'm just thinking now, because there's still a whole lot to cover this morning. Honorable Commissioner Mayesi, can we extend this conversation beyond the news?
It's fine. It's okay.
It's fine by you?
It's okay.
All right. So Lagos.
So that the Lagosians will understand what we're doing, and then we can all both be in sync.
Good. So we're having the price of 2 for 1 this morning on your side mirror, and the special advisor is granting us that grace. So we're still going to be talking a whole lot, because the Fort Milan Bridge project, that's still very much on course. And how best can we also explore the public-private partnership model to ensure that we have sustainability of roads? All that will also be part of it. That will be during the second hour of this program. But let's quickly respond to some of those concerns that have been raised. Shegun is talking about Abaranje. Okay,
Ruben.
Yes.
It's definitely in our radar this year.
Okay.
Even though we had done palliative in the last 2 months, the Public Works Corporation tried to do palliatives under the ward intervention, but that road needs to be fixed in Alimosho. We'll take it in our radar this year.
Okay. All right. That sounds pretty good. Now, the mile 2-1, which somebody mentioned, CCECC, short portion of the road by mile 2, how come it has not been completed? Is that under your purview?
It's under our purview. So you recollect that in August last year, when the complaints about trailers, articulated trucks falling over at that spot, we took a look at it, and like I said, that area has its perennial problem year in, year out. What you have as the size of the drainage, so it's a drainage issue that has manifested. You had a flexible pavement, you had a drain size that was about 60 by 60, so that required regular maintenance over time, but which we're not doing. And every time that spot became a bad spot that was always filled with potholes. So we looked at it, given our maintenance culture in this climb. You recollect that it was a difficulty that was around that area, because that place is under the abutment at Mile 2 flyover. So you had the raker piles in that direction. There was little that you could do, so that was the maximum drain size you could achieve. So which meant that you needed to regularly maintain it. But because of the lack of that maintenance culture in us, we've decided, okay, in accommodating this one, except to do this in rigid pavement, that gives us time to be able to go back and fix it at our own time. So we decided to change that. So you saw CCEC start with the service lane side, they fixed that, and then they did the main carriageway on also in rigid pavement. When you do rigid pavement, you allow for strength. Even when you use high strength concrete,
right,
there's a time. So they've done the concreting. That road is supposed to be open any moment from now. January 10th, when they came back, they fixed that portion. So okay, the part that they need to allow some time for it to cure, and then they leave it open for traffic.
All right.
The other part they are yet to finish is on the other side, because you cannot lock the whole traffic. Once you finish one side, you then open the next side.
Right.
So it's a sequence operation thing.
All right, then. Honorable Aramide Adeyoye is our guest this morning on 600 Days of Governor Babajide Sanwo-Olu's administration. We're reflecting on works and infrastructure. This is the first part of the program. We're going to take a break right now for the news, which comes up very, very shortly. And after the news, you can still connect with her. Plus, what's happening to the Fort Milan Bridge? Will Governor Sanwo-Olu deliver it? All right. What about the infrastructure for rail transportation? How far are we going with all of that? These are many more we'll still be exploring during the second hour of the program. But let's link up with our guest, Honorable Adeyoye, as we continue on these 600 days. You've talked about a lot that has been done in the 20 months of Governor Sanwo-Olu's administration. Let's project into 2021. So, what are the priority projects that Mr. Governor is focusing on this year?
Okay. So, thank you very much, Victor, for having me back again in this second session. Like I said earlier on, one of the things that we did in the last administration, in the last few months, was to say we will continue on the things we have done earlier, consolidate on them. And that meant that we would go finish Penn Cinema, which we have done and will commission this month. For this year, what we intend to do was to ramp up the regional road, which is an 8.6 kilometer, 3-lane dual carriage rigid pavement on both sides, with 2 bridges at Victoria Garden City and Bikota. That is already ongoing as I speak. The Beduleke Airport Expressway from Eleko Junction, which is also another 18.75 kilometer. You recollect that the residents around Victoria Land, VDC axis, were always complaining about this road. It's a contractor finance project that was expected to last 20 months. It started already. The contractor is very much on site, and it's right now the progress is commendable. We intend to also go on with that.
All right.
The Okpebi Mende Bridge is something that is on our radar.
Okpebi Mende
Bridge. The whole idea is to be able to remove the gridlock that you fly over when you are around Okpebi and you want to link the third axial road, rather than go through going through Oregun, come out, look for alternative ways, and then detour, and then still try to come back into back again into Alakpare. And this, if you are on the Mobalaji Bankanton Expressway, all it just needed to do was to detour a little bit off and then link the bridge and veer out onto the expressway. So it's something that the geotechnical investigation is ongoing, and we want to take it in our stride.
All right.
We also have the 6-number roads, other 6-number roads that are meant to complement the new Mercy Children's Hospital. That's the largest. If it's completed, it's the largest pediatric hospital in sub-Saharan Africa.
All right.
So those six Adeyoye, the 6 roads around all of those areas to be able to complement that infrastructure.
Right.
Is also in the radar.
All right. So it means that we have.
And then as well, the Omo Creek. Everybody has been talking. Lagos is the victim of its own success. It attracts, it's magnetizing. Everybody wants to come to Lagos. The pressure is high on the infrastructure as well. So the land, it is also on housing. But one of the things, and where is the land that people can build? So the only place we've looked at it, the only place where it looks like there is opportunity available for building right now is towards the Ekpe side, or towards on the Ekpe side. Okay. Where you have the Songote, where you have the creek open up that divides that area. Right. So the Omo Creek Bridge is intended, when it is finished, it's intended to open up that area for real estate development.
Oh, good. So lots of things will be in the pipeline. I do understand you have about 377 projects for 2021.
So the 377 projects are the World Road projects.
Okay.
World Road projects on that. So because we will have a participatory government, we want an all-inclusive government. That way we want people, the citizenry, to us, everybody to feel inclusive of government, participate in it. So even at the ward levels, the interventions that we're doing, either trying to provide borehole services, try to provide resurfacing of roads. It could also be town halls. It could be generator provision to be able to power their street lights. But in any form. So what we did then was to get the buy-in of the people. What exactly do they need?
Just 1 second. Let me see if I can take this update that is coming in. Last man monitor. Hello there. Good morning.
Good morning to you, Victor.
All right. Olaiwola, talk to me. What's happening?
Just a quick feedback concerning your request. The earlier reported broken down high-capacity passengers was around my shop. It's still on ground. Okay. But I can assure you it's not really impeding vehicular movement this time. So those coming outbound Ikorodu, we have a good situation all through to Kushope this time. All right. The impediment is still on ground, but it is well managed, and we are getting off the peak period now.
Good. What about the one?
Now,
yes.
It's still on ground. Situation is just being managed around the corridor. You know, it's at the edges of moving outbound Akpobon to connect to Kogi. Okay. So we have slow movement for those connecting that axis, then those coming from TMS Bridge to link Akpobon will be affected. All right. So all efforts are on for the fast recovery. And I can assure you, we'll send the signal as soon as we get the result.
All right, then. We'd appreciate that. Thank you very much, Olaiwola.
Before I let you go, Victor.
Yes.
The situation around Alakpere will be calmed very soon. Okay. You understand that security personnel are having operations at Ogudu. Okay. But we have been able, to send a signal across to them, which all efforts are on to calm the situation within that. So it's affecting those coming in from Ojota Bridge. In fact, the spillover is around Chinatown. So Chinatown, Alakpere to Ogudu. It's on the high side this time.
All right, then. Okay, we've taken note of that. We'll continue to send that out as well. Thank you so much, Olaiwola. Okay, so that's the situation. The breakdowns, we still have them, but properly managed within those locations. But equally, I can also let you know that we just reported, it says security operation somewhere around Ogudu, affecting those of you around Alakpere, and backlog somewhere around Chinatown, he said. But they have sent signals to ensure that it's going to be properly managed, so no real situations there. All right, so Honorable Adeyoye, we're still going to connect with the people because we'll hear from them during this hour as well. But you've talked a lot about so many projects that are coming on stream in the year 2021, and the governor's zeal to ensure that infrastructure is fixed to also benefit people. But where are the resources going to be coming from? You just talked about 167 billion as the seal or the envelope that you have for your ministry. So this obviously cannot cater for all these projects. So where is the funding going to be coming from?
Thank you, Victor. Like I said, Lagos is a victim of its own success. And that's why when we say that Lagos requires a special status, because it's magnetizing living in Lagos. Everybody wants to come to Lagos. In fact, the pressure on infrastructure is high. And so long as it's high, so long as we're not able, as it is, as we speak, to get people to pay the correct taxes. So one of the things that we're trying to do is to efficiently see how we can collect as at when due revenues and taxes, but more importantly, to see how we can actually introduce new creative ways into the PPP model. The PPP model laws as it is now requires 1 or 2 tweaks to be able to make it work. But in the creative mind of this administration, we then have this program that we call the PIIP. It's called Private Infrastructure Improvement Partnership, where we get the private sector to partner with us. And that's what we suggested for quite a number of roads, and they've worked. A typical one in mind is the Oniru Saku network of roads that was recently commissioned about 4 months back. That's added a total stock of about 1.5 kilometers to the network around the Oniru axis.
Okay.
The same thing, so that's what we have, where we just get the private sector come in and say, adopt this road. In exchange, what do you get? Either we give you a concession on your land use charge, or we give some form of advertising rights, or you light up the place, or a branding, in exchange for that. So we're seeing a lot of people come up. And in the last 2 months or so, a new trend is beginning to emerge. Right. Where people they're interested, so they have the funds contractor financing model, which the Ministry of Budget and Planning, as well as the Office of Finance and Ministry of Works, were collaborating to see exactly how we can strategize our projects, high order priority projects, and then be able to use the resources coming from this funds from contractors, saying we want to take up on this project.
So you're having more of such requests now?
Oh yes, they are coming.
Oh,
they're coming requests, even internally and externally.
Oh.
I think that's a new trend. That's what we're beginning to see. And that's the only way to go, because government alone cannot provide all of the resources. The pressure is really high on the infrastructure.
All right, then. So that sounds pretty interesting, and that will also help to cater for some of the deficits that we have that relates to infrastructure. All right, so let's take some reactions now, and we're going to be taking this. Before we hear from you on the phone lines, let's see if we can take some that has been sent in via social media as well as our WhatsApp. Korede, what do we have? Some people are also still asking their questions. Is that correct?
Yes.
All
right. On Facebook, we have something from Tajuddin Shuwale. It says, "Good morning, Victor and SA. The barriers at the two ends of Ajibulu Airport's link bridge off Airport Road has been down for over 3 years, thereby giving free access to restricted trucks to use the bridge. Please let the government fix it before the trucks damage the bridge." Okay,
the two ends of Airport Bridge, right?
Yes, the two ends of Airport Bridge.
Okay.
All right, Lekon Ganiu says, "To free the gridlock on K2 to Owode in the evening, please close down the road that exits from K2 to Tipa."
This is Lekon.
Lekon, yes, Lekon Ganiu. It says, "The lay-by from Ajelogo to Mile 12 Owode should have..." Okay.
It's not complete.
All right, yeah, it's not complete. All right, going to Olaniwaju Kunle. He says, "Raji Razak Aboru Road needs urgent attention."
Raji Razak Aboru
Road needs urgent attention. Benga Babatunde says, "I want to call the attention of the SA to Adamo in Ikorodu. There's no road there at all, and the population is massive."
Adamo.
Yes,
right.
Adamo in Ikorodu. Yes. So, WhatsApp.
All right.
All right. WhatsApp. All right. Okay. Motori said the barracks along Badagry Express. Okay.
Okay.
That's traffic update. Yes.
All right then. We'll leave it at that because I know we can't take all of them. But let's see. Some of the areas that have been mentioned right now, let's see if we can just quickly take one or two. The Airport road, like he said, airport bridge, barriers at both ends. He says those barriers have been knocked off, and that's giving some trucks the leeway to go through that bridge. What would be your response to him?
Well, thank you for that question. One of the things that I always say is this: enforcement. Before enforcement, you begin to do enforcement, people must learn to take ownership. And I think at some point in time, Ogun State has done it, and it will not be out of place if we will take it up. The timing for articulated trucks to come out, because a lot of citizens have complained about how they cause gridlock, but it's not that. It's also the fact that the way they drive and then the damage that they cause to the pavement is also there. That barrier that you see there must have been removed so that it will allow them to go on it.
That's right.
So it's all about enforcement. And it starts from ownership. When people learn to know that this is ours, then they take the possession, they guard it jealously.
Right. And I also see that too, even within the Dokpemu end as well. You know, there are certain times where you are supposed to have barriers there, and before long, you see those barriers have been knocked off.
They've been knocked off because people just want to use it as an avenue to crisscross and quickly come on the other side without having to take the necessary turning, the pain to do the necessary turning.
Quite unfortunate.
Very, 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 very.
All right. So taking responsibility is what the SA is advising. Lekon says for the gridlock within that corridor from K to Kushafe, mile 12, to be totally eliminated, he says we need to close down the road from Ajilogo to where now? Where did
Adeyoye to mile 12.
Mile 12. All right. So is that correct? Do you think that will work?
Well, so like I always say, you just don't close the road because people suggest it. You need to be able to do some traffic studies, some simulation, and then do the TIA, the traffic impact analysis, if you do close that road. Okay. So where are they going? The people who take that road, where are they? Where is their origin? Do and all these studies, their origin and destination studies, and then see if you close it, what exactly is going to happen.
All right. So feasibility studies have to be.
So I think Minister of Transport, it's something that I'll bring to the attention of my colleague in transport, and then let's see what we can do. But before we do that, we must finish this construction work that we're presently ongoing, and it's almost completed.
All right. So Benga, it says Adamo is a growing community in Ikorodu. It needs lots of attention there. Maybe your ministry can also go and have a look and see what can be done in terms of infrastructure within that particular community.
Adamo has been looked. It's in the compendium. In a day, the number of applications for road construction that we receive in the Ministry of Works. So we have a compendium. Okay. As soon as those requests come, we do the reconnaissance survey immediately. We do the costing. We keep it in the compendium, and then we begin to prioritize. We prioritize in that order. Once the funds are available, budget provisions are there, then we go ahead with the construction work.
Okay.
So that, I think, explains why Aramide is coming up this year, because it's coming on the radar. The frequency at which it comes under the radar, once it comes on regularly, it's time to execute.
To benefit as well.
To execute it as well.
Okay, let's take a few calls now before we reflect on the 4th Mainland Bridge. All right, then, so you want to connect with us? 08099120777 is the numbers that you can do so. We're still dwelling on 600 days of Governor Babajide Sanwo-Olu's administration. And I have the Special Advisor on Works and Infrastructure, Honorable Aramide Adeyoye. Talk to me. Hello there.
Hello. Good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Am I on to Topic Radio?
Yes, you are. What's your name?
My name is Apostle Nelson.
All right. Where are you calling from?
I'm calling from my two addicts from Engr. I reside in Adeyoye.
All right. Go ahead then.
I'm lucky as this. Yes, I want to actually commend Sanwo-Olu's administration and the SA there. They have done a whole lot in Lagos. But I would like to draw particular attention to also the Aja Bridge.
Okay.
The Aja Bridge, the barrier there has also been knocked off. With even the signage that heavy trucks are not allowed to fly. You find trailers go on it, you'll find all the heavy trucks go on that. So I'm afraid in a short while, we might actually have a problem on our hands with the way transmission trucks go on that bridge, because I'm sure they were not designed to go with that capacity of the year. I also want to say that there is a need to look at the construction taking place around the Engr Street in Ajekure.
What do you call the name of the street?
Construction.
What's the name of the street?
Engr Street.
Umba, okay.
Towards the wall, down to connect to the local government near there.
Okay.
You know, there's a major job going on there. But I as much as I appreciate the work, the way it's being done, I'm afraid that the hands being used does not portray the magnitude of the job. The magnitude of the job that is being carried out. More of a direct labor or more of a technical men black without a proper technical team supervising what they're doing.
Okay.
You know, I look at the job, it looks as if it's a bit substandard to what is expected from the kind of preparation that I saw. Knocking down of the houses and all that to get the proper perimeter of the job they are doing.
All right.
And then having that kind of quality of hand going on in that direction. So I think the SA should probably appraise and look into that area because it's quite early at this stage. There has to be a review of the kind of people handling that contract.
All right, then. Apostle Nelson, thank you very much for your concern. We've taken note of that. He's concerned about some of these jobs. But we'll take more from you. 080-99120-777 is the numbers to connect with us on the program this morning. We're still reflecting on works and infrastructure. Talk to me. Hello there. Hello, can you hear me? All right, it's a bad connection. Try and see how we clean that up. 080-99120-777. Hello. Yeah.
Hello, good morning.
Good morning.
This is Folabi, quite an age.
Quite an age, Folabi. How are you doing?
Very well, my brother, I have a family.
Very good. So,
kudos to the other commissioner. He has spoken eloquently well, and we did appreciate the good work of Lagos State government and the crew. Honestly, I'm really happy. And for the fact that I'm able to get across the leaders, I'm equally happy. I think the program is meant for people. Right. To me, the program is meant for us.
All right.
Having said all this, we have been marginalized over the years. I have to say this, Victor. Reason is that for the fact that the country is highly populous, and we know that people are moving from all parts of the other of Lagos State to Ikorodu now. And they say the infrastructure available for us is quite minimal, it's limited. And based on my own study, you know, I work on private sector, and I know I deal with some of the state government as well. In my community alone, we have the number of Lagos State employees, and I know what is being generated as revenue. You know, when I compare all the almighty Lekki, Highland, and with this side of you, I felt so marginalized. Are we not the same?
Okay, so Afolabi, what do you want? Just go ahead, go straight to the point.
What I just have to say all this, Victor, so that you know that I want to pour my mind. So now, let me go straight to my point. Number one, I think they need to look at the, what is it called, my swap. I one of the major stakeholders on that road. I don't know whether they need to relocate, total relocation of my field. I think one of the points to me. Two,
that's relocation of Mile 12 markets, right?
Exactly. No matter the amount of palliative or what is it called, rehabilitation and all that. Doing on that road, I tell you, Victor, we're coming back to square zero.
Okay.
I look at that man who the woman talked about the other time. I was saying it here recently. When we constructed road, they started blocking it.
Okay.
And I'm telling you. So number two, the enforcement. I always said here the other day with my wife. You know, one of the best, I think the car pulled up, and the guy was dragging on the road with his other wheel, dragging massive the road, and he's killing me.
All right.
You understand the enforcement? You know, we've been talking about all that. But because of the problem we have at hand now, the security agents and the hoodlums and all that, it's like the security agents, they've been overwhelmed.
Okay,
that is why I'm scared. I don't know how we can go with the area of enforcement.
All right.
That is for that.
All right, quickly.
Number three, let's quickly wrap it up. The issue of we need force penalty. Why that one is not coming more? Because I'm one of the other people that defend my community. That is everywhere. I think I know the flyer is flying through my area in the area community. Because I'm participating in the main meeting. Yeah, I've always been going, representing my community the other side, getting feedback.
Right.
Why that one is not coming yet? We should look at other routes like that. Ipakodo Road. It's taking forever.
Okay.
And I think it's an opportunity for them to fix all this while we are still at home now because of pandemic. If they're not possible to quickly do it, the street, they need to put it in action. Then other one, sanity behind Munira Salide. That's sanity, because going to garage now is no going area for you. Because of lack of enforcement over there. I know those guys, they really overwhelm the security agencies. I won't tell you.
Okay, so your time is up. Your time is up. Your time is up, Afolabi, but you've mentioned all the projects that you want the government to concentrate on in Ikorodu. But saying that Ikorodu is marginalized, don't you think that's going too far? Considering all the projects that the SA has mentioned, that is ongoing in Ikorodu, maybe you must have missed that part. But of course, she will respond to you when the time comes. All right, I'll take one more before I will get back to her, and then she can put all of this in a basket and then respond to your concerns generally all together as well. Okay? And you can also connect with us on our social media too. Facebook Live, right? Let's hear from you. Hello there.
Yeah, good morning, Victor.
Good morning.
Yeah, I admire your program, and I want to congratulate the governor for what he is doing in Lagos State. He's really doing greatly.
What's your name, sir?
My name is Jimmy.
Jimmy, where are you calling from?
Okay, I'm calling from Isheri Oshun, White Sand area.
All right, go ahead then.
Yeah, I sent a WhatsApp message during the 500 days of governor in office regarding Isheri Oshun, White Sand. There no government presence have been there. I can boldly say that for years, 1 naira from the government has not been to that place. And it's a very large community in Alimosho, Igondo, Ikotu, LCD also. So I don't know what plans they have for that area.
The Isheri Oshun White Sand.
Yes, White Sand, linking to Festac, 6th Avenue.
Okay, all right.
No road, drainage problem. In fact, yearly we know what will suffer when the rains come.
All right, then we've taken note of that. She will respond to you. Thank you so much.
No wahala.
Great.
Thank you.
So let's attend to this.
Okay.
Coming in barrages.
But it's okay.
Yeah.
I think I'll start from Apostle Nelson. He talked about the Ajah Bridge, and he said he noticed that the signages were beginning to be removed by the articulated trucks, he said, and then also the barriers at the approach of the bridges and the descent, they were all gone off. So one of the things I always say, when people don't take ownership of things, it's subject to abuse. That's the kind of thing we'll get. And it's sad for us as a government. And that's why I think every Lagosian should also be, they must need to take ownership. They must help us, must all help ourselves in the city. If the city is going to be livable, a city with order, then when we see things going wrong, we must take charge. We must speak out.
Okay.
So the fact that signage was removed, it was placed there, but somebody removed it. The same way that manholes are removed. I get calls on my phone to say these manholes have been removed on this, on major roads that are in the city that are not actually out of the city. On roads like Aula Road, major road, busy road, well lit. And then you ask, it's not just Aula Road, Eric Moore Road. And it costs government money each time that we have to go back to begin to replace this infrastructure. Money that we'll have used to do some other thing somewhere.
Quite unfortunate.
It is. So for us, we're looking into it. It's about enforcement, and it said it right now. It looks like we have the difficulty with the security agencies, but I'm sure very soon we'll all find our feet, and then we'll be able to ramp up all of those enforcements around that area.
All right, then.
Next, he talked about Mbakadoso. Mbakadoso, coincidentally, I think the contractor that is working on Mbakadoso has also worked on Alaba Musafejo.
Okay.
The ratings, the way we select contractors, that they go through procurement process. It's an open tendering. So you're also rating categories who qualifies to do a particular kind of job.
Right.
So you just don't give jobs to people because they are contractors.
Right.
But what is the antecedent and what is their background, their competency, skills, and rating?
All right. But you need to go there and do some proper monitoring then of that particular project.
I will tell you, that's a site that I think I'm very familiar with. Just like I told you that I was on Ijedodo 2 days ago. And yesterday, we actually concluded all of the right-of-way issues that were hampering that project. So also is in Mbakadoso. Mbakadoso is one road that leads directly into Apaposo, the expressway. It's a major road that you will take from Adeyoye and you detour. So it's strategic that road was awarded, so that it will act like a relief for Apaposo, the expressway. Okay. So the next question is the specification for that road. It's in semi-rigid pavement. As a government, because we see what these articulated trucks are doing, we have raised the bar. So the kind of semi-rigid stones that we use are not 35 MPa stones. They are 40. The strength of the stones have been increased to 45 MPa.
So it's very, very strong.
So it's stronger. Even the approved design and signed off by Ross to the contractor for implementation is there. And like I said, for the last 1.5 years, even this year, the engineers in the Ministry of Works have had their strategy sessions and training.
Right.
In the last 1 year, I've seen them. So supervision is something that we take seriously, because without that, you will have a lot of.
So you're going to go back there to.
So don't worry, we'll take it up on board. We note all of the comments, and then we'll take on board.
Let's talk about Folabi from Ikorodu. Okay, marginalization.
Well, I'm a little bit surprised by that response from Mr. Folabi. I would say Ikorodu has had its fair share. When you're talking in terms of infrastructure intervention in Lagos, I would say 3 local governments stick out as the ones that have been marginalized. And I say this from every sense of fairness, because I'm not SA works for a particular local government. I'm SA works for the whole of the state.
Right.
So areas like Amu Wardofi, like Ojo local government, like Badagry, like Ekpe, are the ones that I can consider that they are marginalized.
Not Ikorodu.
Not Ikorodu. Ikorodu has, and I'm saying it because Ikorodu has Ijeda Road, a 6.5-kilometer road, as a relief from Gwerigwe to from Itagamaga to Gwerigwe that is under construction. Obashekumade is also on course. You also have Agri-Kishawo. You have Igbogo as well. You have the Matu Ikorodu Road also ongoing. These are multi-billion naira projects.
Right. So
when you talk, and then in terms of even intervention, during the last 116 roads rehab, majority of the projects that were rehabilitated were in Ikorodu.
Okay.
So when somebody says I'm marginalized, that word, everybody is marginalized. But we note what he has said.
Right.
Those roads that he has mentioned are actually routes that we have thought of. You know, the motorized mill is also is something that we're ready. This administration is ready to commission any moment from now. The relief roads to act as alternative roads. We're also in the process of designing some relief roads that would serve, that will connect, so that in the event that the main Ekpaitok in Mota Road is blocked, there will be a relief to come out of the rice mill.
Right. So he's talking about the Mile 12 K2 Kushafe gridlock sometimes, and he says it cannot be resolved if we do not relocate the Mile 12 market. Do you share his sentiments?
I share his sentiments, and it's not wrong. The state government has plans to be able to relocate the people in the market.
Okay.
So there is a market that is under construction that we've cited. The construction work is ongoing on to move them there.
Right.
So take them out of it, because like you said, when you just done a fresh construction, and then all of a sudden the man knows people are stuffing vegetables and all of the potatoes, the baskets, the basket, raffia baskets, all in that manhole. In no time, it's going to get blocked. The only advantage that we have this time around, you don't have a flexible pavement. You have a rigid pavement. So that water stays on the concrete surface, and with time it would evaporate. And then, so it doesn't really cause damage. But it still comes out of not using that road the way it's supposed to be used. It's the abuse that we're subjecting it to.
Let's take it to the next level now. So I'm going to leave Folabi now. Join Jimmy. Jimmy is from Ishere Oshun. That's within Gondo, and he says there's no government presence at Ishere Oshun White Sand area. He wants to know if there's any plans for them.
Okay, so when Mr. Jimmy says there's no government presence, I do not agree, and I said that with every sense of fairness. Only 2 days ago, I think I was at Ijedodo, the entire stretch, traversing the route, just to be able to sort the right-of-way issues that we have to allow that project to finally kick off. So there is a construction. So Ijagemo also. So we have plans to connect Lagos Badagry Expressway with a bridge across to this Ijeododo Road.
Okay.
And then that opens up the entire corridor. So in the same manner, Ijegun-Jagemo is also another route alignment that will connect to Lasu Iba Road. This time around, not Lagos Badagry, but Lasu Iba Road.
Right. And
then Ishere Oshun is something that we have in Areda as well that we'll take note.
Right.
So I don't want him to say that he's left behind. In a month, I'm sure very soon the dividends of democracy will get to them.
That's the allocation.
Yes.
All right, let's move on to the very, very big one now, which is the 4th Mainland Bridge. Now, that has been on from as far back as 2007, when the concept of having a 4th Mainland Bridge, was being touted. So, where are we with that? Because I know during this administration of Governor Babajide Sanwo-Olu, lots of talk about the 4th Mainland Bridge. Where are we with that project?
Thank you, Mr. Victor. Yes, you're right. The 4th Mainland Bridge, actually, the moment the 3rd Mainland Bridge ended, there were plans to start the 4th Mainland Bridge immediately. And you know well that the third mainland bridge was finished in 1991, August 1991.
That's right.
So we're talking of over 30 years.
Yeah.
It's not far-fetched the reason why we have not made success in that area. When you are looking for funds from international investors, one of the first things that they will tell you is your transparency. How transparent are you? And so what Mr. Governor then advised was, come, we intend to do this thing transparently. And so even from the way we start, it must signify something. Where we're advertising, it was an international news journal. The mode of submission was clearly stated. In addition, we had on board international transaction advisors that could help us in areas. So we have the transaction advisors on the legal side, on the financial side, as well as on the technical side, aside from the Office of PPP and the Ministry of Works and Infrastructure. So that first advertisement that we did actually allowed 51 expression of interest. 51 different subsidiaries and groups did submit the expression of interest.
Okay.
Shortlisted down to 31, the ones who didn't qualify, so down to 31. 31 we further went down based on the criteria that was used in shortlisting. From 31 we came down to 10, and then the 10 were down at 6. The 6 now, so from the 6, the next stage that we'll go in, because it's a six-step process. We're right now going to the RFP process to conclude it. In it, at the end of the day, we will have a preferred bidder and then the reserve bidder.
Okay.
Because we'll be asking for the request for the proposals and we'll see. It's a project, it's a 38-kilometer long bridge,
right,
road and bridge. So it's a lot of massive investment. People need to be sure of what they are bringing in, and then the transparency of the people who they will be working with.
Right. So what's the cost of this project?
The cost, it's about $2.5 billion.
Okay.
So one of the it appears amongst one of the 6 selected appears to have also qualified on the federal government side as well, but on a different project. So there's something we're doing right, because obviously they couldn't have picked the same people that we picked.
Right.
So the investors, they have capacity. It's not the first time they're doing this kind of PP projects. They've done it in other parts of the world. So Nigeria is not an exception. And like I said, once you demonstrate transparency and people can see what you're doing, it shouldn't be long for you to.
So peradventure, this particular bidder, which is at the front line right now, is picked. How soon should we expect the Fourth Mainland Bridge to be delivered to Lagosians?
Give or take, it shouldn't take more than 2.5 to 3 years.
Okay, so we're thinking now, if this is signed and we have a bidder this year, 2021, and of course probably construction commences from January 2022, so we should be thinking of 2026 for a delivery time. Is that okay? Is that correct?
That's fine.
That's fine. All right. So,
but you know, the whole idea is I keep telling people government is a continuum. You, Mr. Governor and Mr. Deputy Governor did promise so many things to Lagosians. The Fourth Mainland Bridge was not one of them, but we also know that it is good to do.
Okay.
So, but why am I going? Penn Cinema Bridge is something that we saw, that we met on ground. It was at about 30% progress when we came in, but we saw that it fitted into the theme's agenda. There is no point reinventing the wheel. Government is a continuum. If it fits into the program, then take it and finish it. And that's what we have done.
All right.
So by the time we start the Fourth Mainland Bridge, and it's the way to go, we all know the benefits. So even if we are not the ones completing it, I'm sure the next administration will complete it. And more so when the investor, you have done everything to assure the investor of his funds. For his funds.
All right.
I don't see the reason why we cannot fly.
All right, so let's just bend to the last corner of the program this morning. Let me see if I can sneak in 1 or 2 calls before we wrap up. Then 08099120777. We'll be doing the whole stretch, an extended version of Your Side Mirror, reflecting on works and infrastructure, plus your comments as well. Let's see if we can just get that in. Hello there.
Hello, good morning.
Good morning.
I'm Engr from Babajide.
All right, go ahead quickly.
Yeah, in regards to Babajide here, so I noticed that the present government has not even tried to come to our end here.
Okay.
And I'm an advocate of this governor. So I see the project is done everywhere. Because I do, part of my business is e-hailing. So I see a lot of projects he's doing. When I come down to my Adeyoye, I cry. And I defend him anywhere. Even with my riders, when they are talking, if I get to anywhere, I say, this governor is trying. I'm trying to tell them to give that second term.
All right.
for why Ejibo is neglected.
Okay, good.
Why?
So we've taken note of that.
There are many roads in Ejibo. I want the SA to focus on us.
Okay.
There's a road from Power Line
From where?
that can link council. It can link council.
Hello. Let me get out very clearly. You said there's a road from where now?
There is a power line bus stop in Ejibo.
Okay.
There's a road that links to council roundabout, around council.
Okay.
There's no need of going through control to link council.
Mm-hmm.
It's a very good project. And there's another road here at Ailigo. The road is very horrible. Ailigo Road.
Okay.
And the third one, there's a road in Bokron, that can link Agon. It will go through the bridge called Fashion Bridge that can link Agon. If these three roads are done, it will be open to traffic.
Okay then. All right.
Economy will come up to Ejibo.
Great.
I beg the SA should please work on this for us.
All right. Thank you.
And then these are major roads here. Once again, these are major roads here. I want to tell the SA, if they want to touch that road again, they shouldn't do half far from that road. That road should be put interlocking. Because the past government thing there put outside the water spoiling. The same Sanwo-Olu has come there, the road is bad again. So if they want to touch that portion of Ejibo near the market, they should put interlocking once and for all.
All right.
At least the water will not spoil that portion.
Thank you so much.
Very grateful. We can see that one happen in my lifetime.
Thank you. All right. We appreciate you. He says he's an advocate of the governor, but he needs his presence in Ejibo. All right. Quickly, you want to respond to that?
Thank you. I note what he has said. He said that the place is around the markets, and then there's need to change the pavement structure to interlocking.
All right.
One of the things that I always tell people is when you design knowing the nuances of the people that you're designing for. There was somebody who talked from Mile 12, and he said the same complaint is what he said. So one of the things that we're doing as an administration is we're now beginning to popularize two things that we're doing. We have upped the standard, like I said earlier. We've upped the specification even for semi-rigid pavements. We are using interlocking stone from 35 MPa to 45 MPa higher strength. The second thing is we popularized the use of rigid pavements on our roadway.
Okay.
That's not something that was done before, except for Dangote apropos to the expressway that was recently done. You will notice that on Ekpe from Tip Junction to Beju is in rigid pavement. We've also tried to change almost all of the pavements around Ikorodu Road now to rigid pavement, because then they can take, it's a major arterial, they can take the excess axle loadings from this matriculated trucks.
All right.
So as much as possible, we look at the nature of the road, the volume of traffic, the average daily traffic, the ADT values on it, and then we see what we can do to change the spec. And then another thing that also gladdens me is that we've taken at the last Council of States meeting of Works, Commissioners for Works and Infrastructure in Port Harcourt, the manual, the highway manual. So now the federal government, the Federal Minister of Work has the highway manual for rigid pavements. So that once we have all of those ones, even local contractors will need to have to up their game to begin to learn the art and skills of doing rigid pavements as against the flexible pavement. But that does not stop R&D work. As a ministry, we are championing the R&D and both of us, as well as Public Works Corporation, a lot of studies around the use of cold patch, so that when the rains come, and we've done that together with the mining plant people from Italy. So we've done a lot of studies there that will produce the cold patch asphalt that will be used for maintenance, even in the cold weather, as against trying to bring imported cold patch asphalt.
That's right. All right, so let's begin to take this home now, because time not really our friend. You did say when people see things, they should take ownership of these roads. But peradventure, they want to send any message, or they want to contact the ministry, or they want to report anything to you. If they see any infraction, how can they do that?
So we have our social media angles in Ministry of Works, just like Public Works Corporation. We share the same social media angle and same contact phone numbers.
Right.
The Public Affairs Unit. It's something that is on our Facebook page and our Twitter page.
Okay.
So and then also both the Public Affairs Unit and my numbers. I tell people the best way that you can monitor and supervise projects. My numbers are open to the public. Once they see something, I tell them flag it off, and then we'll take it on board immediately.
All right.
It's worked. That's the only way that people can learn to take ownership. Once you see it and you know and you're rested that somebody is going to react to it, they are encouraged to speak up.
Okay then. All right, it's a long time coming, and we really had a very, very great time this morning. 2 great hours reflecting on Governor Sanwo-Olu's 600 days in office, especially with reference to works and infrastructure. Honorable Adeyoye, nice having you in the studios. Thank you so much for being here. Your parting thoughts to our listeners this morning, quickly?
Thank you, Victor. It's 600 days, like you said. Where the journey we started already. We're just in the 600 mark, and we'll still have more to go. Lagosians have a lot to still get from this administration. Coming in the coming days, we'll be flagging off the construction of Hospital Road. We'll also be flagging up the commission. We'll be commissioning the Tedimowo Mile 10 Irawo Bridge. The Abeson Youth Center will be commissioning that, as well as the Maternal Child Center in Badagry. These are all infrastructure projects.
Right.
We will continue aggressively. We'll continuously and aggressively expand infrastructure provision in the state.
Right.
Quality, value for money driven infrastructure.
Great.
That's what we promised, and that's what we'll deliver. We will not relent in providing this quality infrastructure.
All right. So with those assurances, we are ending the program this morning. Madam, it's nice having you in the building. Thank you so much for being here.
Thank you. My pleasure.
Okay. So far so good. 600 days of Governor Babajide Sanwo-Olu, especially with reference to works and infrastructure. And you've heard a lot of the projects that will be coming on stream this year. So we have to go. Koride Bamishile has produced the program. Thank you so much. Kayode Mafolashere, Philip Akinwara, Mubasola Kasali of our social media team, also helping to ensure that we get to you in all platforms. We say a big thank you to you. All right.